So the big war involving India and Spain is over. India did not have much success there. I mean, luckily they didn't lose that much. They did lose, I think, the strength of their alliance. I don't think they're going to be able to make that big of a threat towards the Spanish alliance for the rest of the campaign, but we'll see. Because now that whole India, Chinese, and Mayan alliance is, I think, for the most part over. I mean, the Mayans and the Chinese are still allied, and the Mayans and the Indians are not allied, or still allied, but India and China, which is kind of the big one that they really desperately needed to keep, is over. Not exactly sure why. I'm guessing the Spanish forced them to annul it. Could that be it? Ally to rival. I mean, they've got a lot of positive modifiers. Ally to rival is a negative one, but they both still have high opinions of each other, so that's still pretty good. Well, let's keep an eye on that. I mean, they'll probably eventually get it back up, but we'll see. Like I said, it's going to take either, I don't know, it's 1792, so there's like 30 years left. It's possible for India to maybe consolidate their forces one last time and try to either kick out Spain and Venice from the Indian subcontinent or something. I mean, they might try it. They might be able to do it. I don't know. Now, with the success of India, Babylon, and Indonesia kind of moving so deep into Assyrian territory, it's allowed the Russians to declare war on the Spanish alliance. And actually, I think the Russians could have a lot of success here. Obviously, we're seeing it in terms of Poland. Poland is being invaded, like, heavily. And I don't know why. I don't know if the Polish had just lost all their military units or what. I mean, here's Persia. Oh, they did call in Persia, I should say. Persia is involved, so they're helping out, certainly helping out against the Assyrians. So the Russians might get a lot of their stuff back. Remember, the Russians have slowly been losing cores every single, few years. So they might be able to get their cores back, and maybe even more. I don't know if they're going to get even more back, but we'll see. It's a Russian reconquest of Kuma, so I don't know. Ethiopia and Portugal still at war. Ethiopia's not going to win this. Songhai is back at war with Haiti, trying to kick them out of the sub-Saharan region, but they might actually be able to do it this time. Yeah, maybe they will. It's the fourth imperialist war between the Songhai and Haiti nations, and the Inca are not doing well at all against the Brazilians. I'm not sure if it's because the Brazilians, maybe because the Brazilians and the Spanish actually contributed to the war, are there blockades going on? I don't know. Oh, Songhai actually managed to get onto Haiti. That is going to explain it why. Okay, so Haiti is for sure going to be taken out of the subcontinent of India. And I didn't even discuss how much Songhai had taken from Morocco in the last video. They did take quite a bit. So yeah, Songhai is looking very powerful. Again, Songhai's biggest issue, though, is that they've got no friends. So that is kind of a problem. Kind of a pretty big problem. Okay, boom. So the Russians just pieced out with Poland. That is going to keep them safe, at least their western front safe. They did take most of their cores back. Yeah, they still have one core remaining that they'll have to take back eventually, but that was a pretty good circumstance. That was a good circumstance for Russia to declare war like that, so good for them. But now they're going to set their sights on Assyria. Assyria doesn't have as many cores, Russian cores, but they could still decide to take a lot away. Russia's at 19 war score, which is incredible. Really, clearly, India, even though India might have lost that war, they did a lot of damage to the point where now Russia is able to grab some strength. Unfortunately, though, India and Russia are not cool with each other. So I don't think India is going to like this very much. But then again, I feel like, your enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's the way India should be thinking about this, even though India doesn't technically, I think Spain is a bigger threat. Yeah. I shouldn't say even though, but yeah, Spain is a bigger threat. Oh, Assyria, look at this. When did this happen? This wasn't there forever. You know what? Maybe did rebels pop this out? Maybe rebels popped this out back to Byzantium, because I don't remember this being there. I don't remember this being there at all. Arabia and England aren't at war, right? England is at war. They've got a 38 stack. Dang. That's where England's keeping all their troops. They're hiding them in the Arabian Peninsula. That is what they've been doing this entire time. I see you. Huns just allied to Poland still. Forgot they still controlled these provinces along the Black Sea. Persia taking out some rebels for the Assyrians. Assyrian revolutionaries. Surprised we didn't see any sort of revolutions at all in this campaign. And boom, England is going to grab the final few provinces here in Siberia. There will Probably, I don't know. You know what? I was wrong about one thing. I don't think the colonization will be completely full. There are still a few provinces that have not been colonized. Like for some reason, this one VOD has not been colonized in Europe. That's it when it comes to Europe, though. Everything else has been colonized. And then there's lots of kind of different things going on along, what is this? The Caspian Sea, east of the Caspian Sea. There's a race for this stuff, which Polynesia has kind of given up on colonization, and Polynesian China, which is what we were discussing in the last video. Most of the islands have been colonized, whether that was by Polynesia or some European powers. Spain and England grabbing Hawaii. And bam, we are only down to one war. Wait a second, did Russia take a lot away? Oh, they didn't. They didn't take much away. They took, one thing. They just took their core back. I see. Yeah, so Russia's doing okay. I mean, that was still a good thing to get their stuff back. And I'm guessing, boom, yeah, Haiti is now out of the sub-Saharan region of Africa. So Haiti is done with the politics there. Obviously, they could still ally to somebody. They could try to become allied to somebody. And Brazil, I think, will win this, but does Brazil... I don't think Brazil is going to be able to take anything. The Inca might have very, like no war score, but Brazil won't be able to take anything, I don't think. They don't have any control over any forts just yet. Wow, the Inca have done a very good job so far of building a fortification against that Brazilian front. That's pretty interesting. And Spanish Colombia is under a heavy fire from Haiti in the north. Okay, so what's the liberty desire of some of the Spanish colonies? We've got 100% for Spanish Colombia, and they do have support from Songhai, which might not be enough, but still. Who's at war with... Occupied by Brazil? Wow. Oh, that's because of California. I see. We've got California with 46.6 liberty desire. Let's go ahead and check on Venice real quick. Always like checking on Venice. It's probably going to be like 29 or something, right? 24.2. I see. Some weird things that happened in this campaign. For one, France started looking like they were going to kick England out of the game very early on because they got a foothold in the British Isles really early, but they never ended up going back to war with these nations, and I don't know why. I understand now because England's under this personal union with America, but there was no reason why... Well, France is just an interesting story as a whole. Not just their politics in the British Isles, but, big coalition against the Polynesians. And by the way, before I say that, I want to check on Brazil. They did not take anything. No land exchanges here. Brazil didn't lose any allies, I don't think, either. Yep, pretty much still the same. France is just an interesting story in general. Not only because of the British Isles, because they never ended up going to war with England again, and they grabbed that foothold very, very early on, but why did France not be able to get anything going? I think we saw the same thing happen in the previous AI-only to Civilization 5 edition of the series, and it might be because Venice automatically becomes powerful. That's one thing I need to make sure that I do for the next one, because we are wrapping up the series here. Venice needs to be way less powerful. They cannot come back as strong as they are. I will probably do something like some crazy development thing to give Venice, because I want Venice to act more like a Civ. They definitely need to be more of like Civ 5. Venice does, because this region is just way too powerful, I think, to give all Venice and then give them all that colonial power and stuff like that. So that's one thing. Oh, Portugal's going to get destroyed, I think, because Spain actually helped out Polynesia here. So Spain or Venice is going to be way more just in terms of like they're going to be a tall nation, just like in Civ 5, as they should. And the next one I'd probably choose. I shouldn't even be talking about this right now. I should be talking about this when we get to the final video. But the next one I would definitely include city-states, and we'd probably give them the same kind of thing where they're going to be more developed and not really wide. I'd love to do kind of more of like instead of doing 43, we do like 62 countries. I think I want to start the countries off with more provinces, so that way we can get to more global wars like this. The colonization will be faster as well if we start them off with more provinces. There's a few things that I'd like to do. City-states obviously would be not at all in Europe. They'd be in outside regions. Still don't like all this wasteland here. So I might choose to do a no wasteland mod. This is a lot of stuff, this could have been fun to watch Europe or whoever it might be race for the kind of the middle part of Africa. Although if we return to this, we might use Civ 5 mods too. So it wouldn't be just Songhai, it'd be, you know, the Boer, the Congo, things like that, which are technically, well, the Boer are not, I don't believe they're not involved in EU4, but the Congo certainly are. So that could be interesting. Yeah, but definitely I want to include city-states, and city-states would be just like what we did in the last series, where they would be black. We would give them like a black color. And hopefully, you know, we won't have any sort of touching going on. No, because we got really, really lucky in this campaign. So far, you know, I don't think India and China are going to kind of touch borders. They might, but we got very lucky in the sense that that never ended up happening. So that was kind of cool. Are there any wars going on at all? Jeez, I haven't even been talking about it. Oh, finally, Persia's going to be destroyed here, I think. Persia, Arabia, Russia, the Zulu. Yeah, that's not a powerful enough alliance to keep back India. Definitely not. And then England is going for their independence. They have the Mayans help. Brazil, the Inca. Wow, South America, all of South America, but America has Europe, pretty much. All of Europe. Let's look at this. So, if there is a way for the Inca and the Brazilians to work together, push through the Spanish Columbia as fast as possible, and then get up here to reinforce the Mayans, then maybe. The Mayans will not win this by themselves, though. They cannot do it. They just don't win it by themselves. It doesn't happen. Is there any of those enemies? Oh, yeah, Spain and Venice could easily invade and probably capture London. I mean, they only have a 29 stack protecting London, so it's very unlikely that there's no way England's going to win this. I doubt it. Okay, so we'll watch as the occupations kind of fall over Persia. This might lead to a really interesting border between India and Assyria finally. I'm surprised that Persia was allowed to stay around for this long. But I gotta give it to Persia. I mean, they built up some alliances to kind of keep them safe. Well, I mean, Russia and the Zulu were somewhat okay. Zulu were quite disappointing, I thought. I thought the Zulu were gonna have a much better campaign than they did, but yeah, I mean that just happens. And in terms of Persia, they pretty much have no military already. I think they did. Remember, they did, because Persia was at war with Assyria with Russia. But I think they lost most of it already. Assyria cleaning up their rebels, by the way. Also notice that. Wait, Byzantium is involved, right? Byzantium is involved. Yes. So, -4 war score so far for Babylon. Interesting. Oh, yeah, this is mainly Babylonian territory, right? It's not. It's actually not. There's a few cores that Babylon has, but not entirely. So, I don't know if India is going to be willing to just give up all this stuff to Babylon. Maybe they will. India seems to be pretty trustworthy when it comes to Babylon. I think they know that at any point India could just completely crush Babylon, so they're not super worried about it. England's at -3, so they can. I think it's almost guaranteed that they will not win this. But I am always interested to see how the American Mayan Wars play out. Those are pretty fun to watch, especially because the radical shifts from like the Mayan power to all of a sudden being boom, America now is the most powerful nation in North America. I think part of that is because of their alliance they formed with Spain. That was huge. That was very big because not only obviously is Spain a big factor, but California is a big factor, and California having this huge front that the Mayans have to protect against is too difficult. I think it's too difficult. How's the fort system? And the Mayans have a terrible fort system as well. I mean, they have a few along the Californian coast, but that's about it. Yeah, this is why I think Washington's able to kind of walk through pretty deep into Mayan territory almost immediately with maybe 1 or 2 forts falling. So like we thought, the Inca and the Brazilians are pushing, and they're moving to Spanish Columbia quite fast, already occupying quite a bit, but they need to actually move through Mexico afterwards, which the Inca like Mexico, or vice versa. Yeah, I think Mexico will probably give up that military access, which means that they'll be able to reinforce. I don't know if the Latin American powers, though, are going to be able to fight against the Americans to the north either, though. There you go. The Mayans are going to win one thing, maybe. Nope, they won't. Reinforcements have arrived. I guess not. There you go. -5 war score. Babylon is at 0, so that's kind of good. Who is this? Wait a second. The French? French Louisiana still exists? Have they always existed up there? No, I don't think they always existed up there. I don't think so, at least. All right, yeah, Persia is about to fall to full occupation. The Zulu do have territory within this region. Oh, that's right, Indonesia is also involved. The Indonesians will be able to distract the Zulu then long enough. That's another reason why India, I think I talked about this quite a long time ago. Another reason why this alliance is so powerful between India and Indonesia is that Indonesia is almost completely, their power comes completely from the sea. They're a very, very good naval naval nation, I guess, in this case. And India is not at all a naval nation. They are all invested entirely, which means their economy is entirely invested into their military, which means that they could technically go way above their force limit and still afford that because they're not paying anything when it comes to a navy. They don't have to pay for those heavy light ships, or I'm sorry, heavy, those expensive heavy ships. China back at war with Polynesia. We'll see if China has more success here. I doubt it. I don't think they will. -7 war score for England. Yep, and things not going so well. And we're about to hit the 19th century. Very cool. I think I might... not exactly sure if we're going to have maybe 1 or 2 videos left in the series. It really kind of depends on a few factors. Depends on the wars. Right now, this isn't a very big war, so I'd probably skip ahead. England will not obviously get their independence, so that's pretty obvious. So yeah, we're either going to do... There's a few things, but I'm not entirely sure. It'll be 1 or 2 videos left in the series, and... in terms of victors, what I'm going to have to do, well, I mean, that was my fault, and I apologize for not making that more clear. When it comes to, like, Civ 5 edition, I should have just said just pick one nation. It'd be too difficult for everybody to pick, like, it's already pretty difficult, but when it's a game like this, where there's so much land uncolonized, I thought it'd be way too difficult for you to pick individual countries in individual continents. So I was like, no, just pick one nation. So there are a lot of people that picked countries. It was pretty much half and half, it seemed like. Some people picked just one country, others picked the five in all the continents. So yeah, I'm just gonna do single because nobody would have gotten. I don't think. I'd have to look into it. I don't think anybody would have gotten. I'm gonna at least give people a chance to win. That's why I'm gonna choose the people that just chose an individual nation, because I don't think anyone would have won at all. I mean, who would have thought England here, or the maybe there. I shouldn't say that there. Who would have thought, but actually, the key is Spain. That's the big thing. Actually, now that I think about it, either way, it's Spain, because no one picks Spain in general. So I don't think anyone. I'm gonna check. We're gonna check, obviously, but I don't think anyone picked. Maybe a handful of people picked right. And like I said, I'm gonna pick the single player. I'm going to pick, the nations that, or I'm sorry, the Commodores that just chose one nation to win. That's what we're going to go after, just because I know that I'm going to at least be able to choose more people to kind of show off their name and stuff like that and give them a shout out. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to have to stop it right there. Let's see, where are we at? Yes, we're going to have to stop it right there. It is 1800. Like I said, we're either 1 or 2 videos away from the series, and then we're going to kick back into high gear into the next series. Going to be completely different. But it's been something that you guys have been asking for, so I'm excited to give that to you guys. Anyways, guys, too much, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.